The man deeply proposed to a branch, carefully placing a ring on it. He asked if it would agree to marry him. Suddenly, a cold wind blew, and the branch grabbed his hand. The ground began to shift, and a half-human, half-bone zombie bride emerged from the earth. She slowly reached out her hand to him, but the man, terrified, turned and ran. The zombie bride, with her decaying body, chased him closely. Finally, on a bridge, the man and the ghost collided again. He fainted on the spot, and when he woke up, he found himself in the afterlife. The place was crowded with all kinds of beings, not humans, but skeletons. There were tall ones, short ones, fat ones, thin ones, and even some with only heads. There was also a trendy undead band saying they would perform at his wedding. The man was utterly confused, unsure whether he was dreaming or had really encountered ghosts. He shouted, demanding to know what was going on. The skeletons slowly revealed the truth to him. The zombie bride's name was Emily. She had been a famous noblewoman in her life, but she had fallen in love with a poor, rotten man. She turned down an arranged marriage and decided to elope with him, only to be tricked. Not only was she betrayed in love, but she was also cheated of her money and, eventually, her life. Heartbroken, Emily swore under a tree that she would wait for true love to set her free. By coincidence, Victor's vows had moved her, and now she could finally get married. But Victor didn't want to marry her. He only wanted to find a way back to the human world, because tomorrow was his real wedding day. Victor's family was new money in the town, and his parents were eager to enter high society. They managed to arrange a marriage with a local noble family, whose members, unlike Victor's, had titles but no wealth. The two families quickly struck a deal, and the two had arranged a marriage without ever meeting each other. Victor went to the noble family for a wedding rehearsal and, while passing a piano in the hall, couldn't resist playing a tune. The beautiful melody caught the attention of his fiancée. Although they had just met, they felt an instant connection, and the atmosphere was harmonious. Soon, they began rehearsing for the real wedding, guided by the priest. Victor's task was to recite a long vow and put a ring on the bride's finger. But perhaps he was too nervous in front of his fiancée, and he couldn't seem to get the vows right no matter how many times he tried. His mother-in-law and father-in-law mocked him coldly, and the atmosphere in the room became unbearably tense. To them, this wedding seemed like nothing more than a transaction. Victor couldn't take the pressure and ran outside to rehearse alone in the woods. What he didn't expect was that his vows would lead him underground. He wanted to return to marry his fiancée, but the zombie bride wouldn't let him go so easily. She busied herself with the wedding arrangements, even wanting to meet Victor's parents before the ceremony. She considered him her husband. Victor had an idea. He tricked Emily into taking him back to the human world, telling her he needed to visit his family first. But he quickly ran off to his fiancée's house, sneaking up to the second floor to confess his feelings to her. Meanwhile, Emily had already arrived outside the window. Furious, she recited an incantation and pulled Victor back into the underworld. Once back, Victor confessed the truth to Emily. He explained that it was all a misunderstanding and that he couldn't marry a dead person. Emily's face fell, and her emotions overwhelmed her. Disappointment, sadness, and hopelessness. Tears slid down her face. Perhaps she didn't deserve true love after all. At the same time, Victor's fiancée was very worried about his situation. She secretly ran out of the villa to ask for help, but everyone was indifferent. Her parents locked her in her room, insisting she prepare for the wedding, because they had found another wealthy man with whom they intended to exchange their daughter for wealth. The fiancée was powerless against her parents and had no choice but to obey. By coincidence, during this time, an old servant from Victor's family passed away. He encountered Victor in the afterlife and told him about the marriage situation. He also revealed that Victor's fiancée was about to marry someone else that very night. Victor was devastated. He thought his fiancée had fallen for someone else, and he no longer wanted to live. In that case, he might as well stay with the zombie bride for the rest of his life. After all, she was devoted and kind-hearted. However, there was one issue. They would have to get married after Victor truly died. Upon hearing this condition, Emily felt some reluctance, but Victor was quite resigned. He even suggested they all go back to the human world to hold the wedding in a church. Meanwhile, the wedding of Victor's fiancée and the new rich man was also underway. Unlike Victor's wedding, this one was cold and depressing, with no joy in the air. As the new rich man prattled on, a flash of silver light appeared behind him. A horde of zombies poured in, frightening the guests. But soon, the guests recognized each other. What started as a battle between the living and the dead turned into a reunion between family members, with the solemn wedding march playing. People, both living and dead, filled the church to witness the wedding of death. Victor's fiancée secretly watched from a corner, her eyes glued to the scene. She saw them exchange vows, and Victor was about to drink the poison wine when Emily stopped him. She couldn't bear to see Victor die and couldn't take away another bride's happiness because she, too, had once lost everything. She called the fiancée from the corner, gave her the bride's place, and let her marry Victor instead. But just then, the new rich man appeared, insisting that the fiancée was his wife and he wouldn't let her go to anyone else. Emily recognized his voice. He was the scoundrel who had once hurt her. He looked at Emily's ghost with no remorse, proudly cursing her, saying she would never marry. As he spoke, he grabbed the cup in front front of him and drank it. It was poison. Within 2 seconds, he transformed into a ghost and was beaten to death by the skeleton army. The old grudge was avenged, and the vow was fulfilled. At that moment, no matter whether Victor loved her or not, Emily was the most beautiful bride that night. Her devotion to love and marriage had been satisfied, even if it was an illusion. That was enough for her to let go of everything. Emily removed the ring and handed the bouquet to the new couple. She turned into thousands of butterflies and flew toward the moon in her heart. True love in adulthood is never about possession, but about fulfilling the other person's happiness and letting them go. Respecting each other's choices is also a way of freeing oneself.